Thank you. DreamEaters look like they're moving into the B halls, but not necessarily B. 4 of the players there. In the meantime, Speedax made his way out towards long doors. He's got a smoke. He could try and run distraction. He could try and pull rotation. DreamEaters being quiet towards the B bomb site in the meantime, and it seems that's going to work. We've got Speedax. He's going to die on his sword towards the A bomb site. There are 4 players there. We've got Device trying to hold down the A bomb site, but they're all going to be that.
Absolutely. Magisk is there. What can he do? The flashbang was pretty effective. Not able to pop anyone, trying to delay at this point, but there's only so many opportunities you have for that. And it looks like DreamEaters are off to a fantastic start. Astralis going to be on the back foot. Device in 1 versus 5. They know exactly where he is. Probably wants to save his Kevlar. Let me get a cheeky kill. But getting through that tunnel, absolutely impossible. DreamEaters absolutely crush it. Flash B, that is going to be successful there for them. And Astralis will be going for the force buy. You love to see it. Get those scouts going. That's a nice one from Speedax. Wow, beautiful. We didn't catch that, but he absolutely owns the flank. It's a nice little added detail to the B rush to have someone do a cat drop like that. Lovely stuff from DreamEaters.
Well-timed flashbang, or is it? It will be avoided by Glaive. He'll land a shot, but it is eco territory for Astralis. 2 Desert Eagles on the map now, 1 on the floor, a 3rd one. Could be collected by a Sviat if he's feeling lucky. Could actually help him since he's got a Mach 10, give him some extra range. I like the color coordination from Dupree. There's a double peek actually from Astralis, so you saw his angle, but right behind him, or not right behind him, but by the big box is Magisk. You can see it on the radar. I like the lineup. Up by a big box, there'll be some elevation from the stairs, so that's a nice double peek on eco for a CT side. One to definitely still add to your repertoire at home. We won't see it in action, it seems, as DreamEaters will be stacking the long position. There's another tag for Device. Beautiful stuff from him. He can jump up on these boxes as well. Chooses the low ground, takes one in the face, and maybe the worst is over for DreamEaters.
Yeah, surely it should be a save now for Astralis. They can carry these guns into the following round. Dupree's collected a MAC-10, so that can be dropped to a teammate. Looks like they're getting a little bit aggressive, though. Throwing some nades in, threatening the bomb site. And that may actually just also be to buy time if they do decide to save. If you threaten the bomb site and kind of make it look like you're going for it, that will hold the DreamEaters off for an extra time. And that looks like that might be the case here. Zipex, of course, stuck in CT. I don't know that he has been spotted. And DreamEaters have to be careful that if they attack that position, they do it in numbers, because if Zipex gets a kill, you can't allow him to save a gun in that position. So it looks like DreamEaters will pick the safest option, or go towards the long and pit position, and they will be safe. So Astralis is still dangerous in this following round. We'll have to see if they can get anything done with what they've saved. But I like the detail from DreamEaters. I feel like we don't see it enough that we'll see teams throwing the utility onto the short position from long. That is very strong. You can see it takes away a lot of defensive positions around Catwalk as they make their way across. I believe you can also get the smoke down on CT ramp as well. So lots of lovely stuff you can do from that position, and they seem more than aware. So good start from them. I think that's what we wanted to see, James.
I do agree that Device is really starting to look like Tom Cruise. Maybe when there's a Mission Impossible prequel, he can get some accent training and, I don't know, jump out the window or something. But for the time being, it'll just be the pistols for the most part. Glaive, of course, with that MAC-10 that was stolen in the previous round. That's a great start for Forrester, taking that long position, making the remainder of the round surely a formality at this point. Grenades towards A. Molotovs to clear space, to limit the pushes that these CTs can do. He's got to hop over the corner, though, and he's got to find himself some... Forrester. There is another SMG to be collected by his teammate now, and DreamEaters will head towards B. They've got the choke point. They're through the choke point, rather. Dupree's outside the bomb site, and there's plenty more utility for DreamEaters, so try and hold on to things.
It's a weird spot for Astralis in the sense that Zipex and Dupree might actually want to save because of the Kevlar. They don't have any utility at all to really get in there. Obviously, they are buying next round, so that's sometimes, the fact that you're buying the following round does make the argument that you'll try to just go for it and get some damage in. But again, without utility, damage is pretty much impossible. So they're trying to control both exits. You can see two players in the tunnels, which is a more realistic point of defense. They'll show themselves there. Now, I might encourage the DreamEaters to go out of the doors towards CT spawn, where now the rest of Astralis have rotated, where they'll have three players. This is actually beautiful. Right now, DreamEaters think that tunnels is not safe, but Astralis going to stack the mid position. That is so smart, James. That is so damn smart.
Well, they are considered one of the smarter teams in Counter-Strike. And now the game begins. 3-0 start for DreamEaters, best of one. We've seen best of ones drop by Astralis before, which is why I didn't want to choose them for the 3-0, because while they're one of the strongest teams in the tournament, or they should be, best of ones, man, you just don't know. And DreamEaters, aka Gatekeepers, have been surprising from game to game. But again, indeed, now it begins. Device on AWP, of course. Full utility for most of the players. Astralis, maybe the kings of holding on to the long position. That's a great start. Device taking Speedak out. Incendiary to hold position. Doesn't go as deep as he wanted it to. Oh, seen the leg. If Forrester goes for the repeat, he could have been taken out as well. I think he's lucky to get away with that one. In the meantime, Zipex has got some sound cues. Fiat jumping. I don't know if he was looking for info, but I don't think he saw Zipex. Now, there are... but Devices are up on the ramp. You could see over this smoke if they go towards the door. That's a beautiful HG from Dupree.
Yeah, straight up through the window. They'll try to get the flashback. Nailed it onto Magis, but Dupree is clear, and he'll get all the kills that he needs with the additional help of Zipex.
They took zero damage.
Clean sweep indeed for Astralis. Exactly what you need on that CT side. And again, given the amount of damage that they managed to find in the previous round by tricking DreamEaters, eking out this extra couple of frags, that's now put DreamEaters in an awkward position, because sure, they can get a buy-in in this round with the AWP. However, if they aren't successful here, that's going to be it. And they have taken some hits in terms of utility. They don't have all the full utility they want. They're on a MAC-10 for Sviat, so it's not ideal. And again, All due to that trick from Astralis to threaten the tunnels and make it look like that's where they were setting up.
More detail in Astralis than a KOTOR ground. I messed that one up, didn't I?
Oh,
that the HE from Dupree through the door was so sick. He had the device with the angle over the smoke from A ramp to cover the door position, and he threw the HE to T's rotating towards the window, and it did massive damage. That made me very, very happy. Now we've got a push coming in towards the B bomb site once again. Are they going to be ready for this? They've got to avoid the flashbang. So far, so good for one of them, but Dupree's going to get taken out. Magisk with the AUG. The AUG is still so good at defending the B bomb site. Magisk giving you an example. He's got 5 bullets left, not reloading. Doesn't want to concede his position. Could get pushed, but eventually it will happen anyway. Man advantage for Astralis on the retake.
Yeah, those 3 kills from Magisk definitely done a lot of damage. The last smoke used by Crowd on the doors. 1 flash, that's all that remains. Sviat in a good position with the AUG, the stolen AUG. What can he do with it, though? There is, of course, Glaive coming from the tunnels eventually. How will Astralis coordinate this? They've got 2 outside the bomb site, 1 in the tunnels, and they have a flashbang and an HE grenade. Oh, Sviat's repositioning there, jumping across. Crowd able to take down Glaive in the tunnels. Now Sviat will jump up, takes down Device. Surprise! Zipex goes down as well, and DreamEaters hold on. And the hype begins. 4-1 for DreamEaters. After Astralis won a round surviving with 5, DreamEaters respond. Well, they respond very, very strong.
Let's have a look. Beautiful headshot there from Crad. He was pinched though. Oh, nice. Crad's looking pretty sharp at the moment. Really sharp indeed. That's a beautiful play from him. GoTV picks. Oh, well, it's Astralis. So for those of you on GoTV, Zipex all game. All game, every game.
You pick Astralis.
I always pick Zipex. If Zipex is on the server, Zipex is a GoTV pick every single game.
So Astralis will mix things up here, not going to have so heavy on their long defense. As Device has showed early presence there, perhaps they feel like they've conditioned the DreamEaters to go a bit more quickly towards the tunnels and catwalk position, and that's where they set themselves up. Zipex and Device will be there. And they'll be looking to get something out of this. When you have a forward position like this, you really want to try to get a kill, then fall back, and that's going to have you feeling a lot more confident about your defense. But there is Speedak on the other end with the AWP. The nades come out, the bomb has been spotted, Device is committed, gets himself a second one. Speedak tries to trade, he knows he has to, but it's too difficult, and there comes the nade to follow it up. And that's Astralis for you. Long will be taken as a response by Forrester. That is something, but it's still a 2 versus 4.
There is room for some recovery if they can take position. But he's got no flashbang for his teammates. There's dry peeks from Kinky, and it doesn't look like this is going to work out. Device moving forward now. Dupree's in the red. You see he was considering trying to trade there, but he's got to let Magisk lead. He will do the job. AWP rescued by Zipex. Astralis back to winning ways, 2-4.
Absolutely. I'm loving the sharpness we're seeing out of DreamEaters. We're seeing some really nice mechanics from them. Forrester and Crad in particular, I've noticed they look really good. This was a strong setup though from Astralis. They bait into forcing the T's to try to go for a trade in response to losing that first player to Device. They were clearly not ready for a setup there, because if they were, we would have seen them play a little bit more forward. We would have seen more flashes to allow them the space to do what they were trying to do safely, but instead they get caught out by Device. They're committed to try to trade for him. Obviously that's part of the Astralis plan. They've got the setup so that Zipex can make it painful, and they get so much damage.
The flashbang wasn't good enough from DreamEaters as well. It would be so bizarre if DreamEaters won this game at Dust 2. Honestly, going back to DreamEaters versus Simon Gaming at the major. The DreamEaters on the CT side, it was wild. The improvements they've made from then to now, but to topple Astralis, even in a best of 1, that would be quite something. That's a low percentage scenario. Technical pause at present. Well, we've been back and forth now. Obviously, DreamEaters won the pistol and beyond, so it's been back and forth. We haven't really seen consecutive rounds since then. But perhaps this is a chance for Astralis to get that consecutive round. I don't know if DreamEaters will force back. We haven't really seen too much investment just yet. Just a P250 on Kinky for the time being. So maybe they'll wave the flag. Actually, I won't say more. Some headsets are off. Device, aka Tom Cruise, with some assistance being had there. But we do have speakers in the venue and the crowd. So we'll just talk about the keyboards.
Well, this game so far, I'm going to deny you of the keyboard talk, has been really interesting because, for me, one of the things that can happen when you see a team that's an underdog like this, that doesn't have the experience, they're playing against a team that may very well be their idols. You know, Astralis are the team that everybody's been chasing and were chasing for such a long period of time. A team that's, you know, really has innovated in so many ways and changed the flow of Counter-Strike. And you know, DreamEaters are up against them right now, and maybe it's in that there's wins against Vitality and NRG that would set them up for more upsets in the future, because I feel like we're seeing a level of focus from them at this point that is really remarkable. Like, it doesn't seem as though they're really suffering from any jitters. Maybe it's because it's the beginning of the game. The fact that, you know, we're seeing such clinical aim from DreamEaters and good team play and execution, they're decisive as well, is really encouraging. And it seems so far the only lack that they've had is, as you say, James, on that there's some of the utility, the tactical aspect of their game, and that's of course one of the biggest strengths that Astralis have. So that might be a clear division between these two teams as time goes on.
All right, device has reconnected to the server. Maybe there's a round restore, and then we should be good to go. So every so often, somebody asks why I always say Zipex when to watch on GoTV when Astralis versus anyone when they're on a server, basically. And it's because I think he's one of the players who is the best demonstration for players who have something to learn, which is most people. Like if they're new to the game or just playing matchmaking or something, I think on the CT side especially, the positions he chooses to take and how he reacts to things, doesn't overextend, a very stable, solid player. I think you can learn good fundamentals or improve your own by watching him play, which is why he's always the go-TV pick. So you can have more explosive people on the server, but I think that is harder to emulate. So while it might be more exciting to watch, in terms of adding things to your own game, which I think is the most rewarding thing you can do, I think Zipex is always somebody that people should watch when he's on the server.
I think it's kind of being able to kind of backwards engineer plus EV situations. I mean, that's how I would describe him. Is he's always playing for that positive expected value, and that's something that he's extremely good at. So.
Backwards engineer plus EV. That's a very complicated sentence you just said there.
Is it? I mean, I guess it's like, you know, if you're trying to figure out how to understand the theory of the game, if you keep watching what Zipex does, you'll start to see some kind of rules and protocols that he uses which consistently give advantage, because he's a player that always tries to maximize advantage and play from advantage and find that advantage. And some players can mitigate a lack of good decision-making with extreme amounts of skill. That is not Zipex. He has both of those things. Huge skill, incredible decision-making. But here we go. We're back in it. It will be perhaps a flat round from DreamEaters. They've invested nothing, which I respect, because they're against Astralis.
They bought a P250. You're lying.
It's okay.
You've defrauded the audience,
it's more or less nothing.
You've defrauded the audience. P250 could go a hell of a long way, or maybe he'll go absolutely nowhere. Dupree with so many targets, trying to spread the wealth. He's left crowd with 3 HP. The M4's been collected, and now this is interesting. If they can go for a wide peak or use one of the pistoling players as cannon fodder, then maybe they can get an entry, and perhaps a bomb plant becomes possible. They've got to put someone near the doors now with Astralis, or at least a window towards B, to stop a potential split of a bomb site. So this does make things pretty weird for them.
It really does make things a little bit strange, but they should be okay. It would be an amazing result for DreamEaters to be able to try to trade onto one more kill. If they could find another kill, I think they've already exceeded the expectations for a round like this. Again, the Astralis economy is awful, and that is by and large because DreamEaters have been playing really well in terms of hitting their shots and, you know, when they take their opportunities, when they go for their pushes, and having some good coordination and communication. So that one kill will go quite far for them. Really nice that they picked that one up.
That's like $5,000 of damage.
Absolutely, yeah. So very expensive buys on the CT side. And here comes the buy for DreamEaters.
Yeah, let's see if... well, what is Speedak going to do? He's got $5,000 in the bank. He seems to be considering he's going to drop a AK to Sviat and pick up the Scout instead. So I did wonder how much he wanted the scope. So he's opted for a Scout with Kevlar and grenades over an AWP with no Kevlar. Let's see how it works out. He's going to have quite a task. Device not showing too much fear. He's got to be aware of somebody jumping on the box in the suicide position as well. In the meantime, we've got players moving through the lower tunnel area. That's what he's looking for. Device really good with the tendencies, especially on Dust 2. A very old G2 team used to always pop flash lower tunnel, and he would be just facing the wall on short, waiting for it, and just peek after it with confidence, round after round.
And that actually works out really well for Device. I think in his perspective, it's hard to know 100% or not sometimes if you've actually made the tag. Obviously, he did get the tag on Crad as he jumped across, but it was through an object. So Crad is very weak. And Device covers his tracks with the incendiary and repositions, so he doesn't get punished. Glaive gets some information there, sees that DreamEaters have taken over Catwalk, but this is the pivotal moment now for the T side, because this is the point when you have this bit of map control where you can put pressure on the A-bomb side, and you can decide to change up the pace, quickly rotate, and go for a B-split whilst you convince them it's going to be A. And this is like the dynamic of a Dust 2 T-side default. And it's the CT's jobs to try to have good positions to deal with both things. And here comes the B-splits. They threaten that A-bomb side, keep 3 players there. And here comes the B-split. Forrester through the window. But Dupree and Magisk are making quick work of this push. Zipek's still alive, but not for too much longer. Looks like DreamEaters will take the B-bomb side. Nice B-split. But the retake is going to be deadly here from Astralis.
They've got 3 flashes, no molly for space control. Device drops the AWP for the AK, more nimble. Maybe there'll be an opportunity to retrieve it later. Speedak with an important shot with the scout into the B-bomb site in the first place. No HEs to go behind the box or anything like that. Speedak considering his options. What is the best flash to throw? Astralis being slow. 2 of the 3 players with defuse kits. Slowly edging through the checkpoints. He's been left alone. Speedak, Kinky 1 versus 2. Now they've got a double pick, but they've got to get on the bomb as well. A huge frag from Device. Glaive didn't have time to double peek with him. And Device will race away to collect his AWP.
Very good round for DreamEaters, though. Again, you know, we see that classic moment with the default where there's this window of time where the CTs don't know whether it's going to be A or B or not, and Astralis had 3 players really committed deep on A. They go for a very fast B split, and it's really Dupree and Magis that obviously make the difference here. In eliminating 3 players on their defense, they did just enough to allow the retake to be convincing. We can see, though, that it still went down to the last couple seconds. Device was not able to come off the bomb. So a very close round from DreamEaters. They're playing a good Dust 2 so far, and they might just burst onto Dupree. He's going to be in some trouble here. Can he get this? Looking for maybe a continuation. Spray falling back. Magisk has beautiful cover. Oh, God. It looked like it could have been really bad for Dupree, but Magisk has him covered. Knife out.
Org on the B bomb site is so strong. I feel like it's the best implementation of the weapon at the moment. 5 to 4, $5,000 to $6,000 on most of these DreamEaters players, but indeed we are getting those consecutive rounds from Astralis. But some of them feel close. DreamEaters, even with that split earlier on, they didn't have much utility, but they had the bodies. But the holds from Astralis are just too strong. Even with 2 players, they can be very devastating, and I'm not talking about eco rounds.
It's so funny there because Dupree, like the way that he looked at Magisk was like, thank you for saving me. Oh no! Spiat actually kills Forrester and all of that as well. Glaive with a double at the beginning. DreamEaters trying to go for a fast long take, trying to really mix up that pace, but Astralis really ready for that. They got 4 players towards A. It was such a good guess from Astralis. Mixing up that setup ahead of time has really paid off. DreamEaters must respond now. I don't think that they realize this, but they need to go B immediately to B. There's a small window of timing where Astralis' play could backfire, but I think they may be a little bit too slow here. Still though, 4 players towards this A site, but there's no smoke to cover the approach to B. And with that said, Astralis will stabilize.
Glaive makes his way towards top mid while all that is happening, so the net continues to close. Dupree spots the bomb, and they know where Speedak is exactly, and the longer Speedak takes to go for a play here, he knows he's going to be up against more players, and there's Device to finish off the job. Only Glaive taken out there on the flank. Astralis with a great read. They show over multiple rounds B is a stronghold. Even when you've got 4, we've got 2, and we will stop you. Read that they go towards the A bomb site and crush the long position with 4 players alive. Marvelous stuff. The lineup there is a little brutal. Not much you can do. It happens.
Yeah.
6-4 now. 5 rounds in a row for Astralis.
I think it's also a situation where, you know, if you're able to identify that there's 4 tools there, you have to have the protocols like already prepared in your practice, that like what the response looks like, because it has to be so fast as a team. You got to rotate straight away to B before the CDs can get back into position. And DreamEaters with the pistols will take over the long position. Device will with a couple shots. The grenades doing the majority of the damage, and this is nice. DreamEaters, they might need a smoke for Xbox if they want to try to attack into Catwalk with numbers, but it looks like they're going across towards B. But with the push of Astralis, they will be wise to all of this. They've understood there's a big amount of numbers towards long, and they proactively take forward positions, really shutting down any options for DreamEaters.
Really, Astralis taking liberties at the moment. Glaive, that's a nasty frag from him. But while he's doing this, Zipex is still very aggressive in that short position. Forrester still lurking in long, but that's information that Astralis are not too concerned about, especially considering Asiko and they have the range, so they need not ask questions towards that long position. But short may be better to burst onto the site, and Zipex is holding control of that at the moment. He's got Dupree and Device behind him, so there can be grenades if they need them. As far as almost got 4 grenades at this point. Glaive is just absolutely taking liberties now. Still just standing there on his own with some pre-fire, beautiful stuff. That is just nasty. That's nasty. Astralis is showing their dominance. He's at the point of no return. He's got no one anywhere close to him, not even for a support grenade.
I love how, you know, like how that is a rehearsed flashbang where it lands in front of the pillar that he's playing behind, so he knows he can peek whilst the flashbang is on the floor, and he will not be blinded, but they will still be blinded. That's kind of a beautiful spot. You know, Astralis showing. I mean, you should never be surprised to see excellent tactical displays from Astralis. That is what they're absolutely known for. Zipex will find a very fast push down Catwalk. So Astralis didn't have anyone towards that middle position. They couldn't see that there had been a jump down suicide from DreamEaters, which means the fastest possible timings towards Catwalk. And with double orbs from Astralis, that was a risky timing for DreamEaters, but they do make it work.
Might look weird to some at home that Crad flashed himself, but there is a meta where you peek before the flash goes off to catch people off guard. Very old. You see it from time to time, so there's no mistake per se there. Magic spots too, but he can't outstay his welcome. Maybe got a sound cue of the player in the lower area as well, so he just got a hell of a lot of information. He didn't see the bomb, but he saw enough players to get an idea. Speedax in T spawn essentially with the bomb at the moment, so he's got to be careful. 1 minute on the clock, but DreamEaters must realize that Astralis are just imposing their will and taking liberties. Is there anything they can do about it though?
The right response here, trying to get out of middle and trying to go towards that B-bomb site. Astralis were gambling towards that A-bomb site, of course, and DreamEaters smartly didn't allow Magic's smoke to be an argument to go and force themselves towards that A site. That would have been suboptimal, to say the least. Trying to hold on to position. Glaive, though, will take down Sviat, who was looking for that top mid play. So it's a 2 versus 2, so chances here for Astralis. Flash smoke is all the utility they have. There goes the flashbang. Smoke, not sure if Glaive will throw that into... well, he can't throw it into tunnel because his teammate's coming from there. Forrester forced up. They know that he's there now. Doing the dance, delaying. And there goes the engagement. And it's all about time here. Speedak is going to be forced to die, I think, with this bomb. Oh, he's jumping onto the... is he actually going for the defuse? He's trying to stick it. Is there actually any time?
Oh
no,
my
surely not.
God.
There should not have been time for that. Speedak was pinned down by the tunnel position. That is a steal.
That was wild. It looked on the radar that Device was considering saving the AWP. It looked like he thought the round was lost. You might see it on the radar while all the action was going on the B bomb site with Glaive. A calculated risk, sacrifice one player with a chance. Absolutely crazy stuff. I can't believe they won that round, but we've seen them win more absurd rounds, to be honest, on the B bomb site. 8-4 now for Astralis. DreamEaters have another buy thanks to that bomb plant. There will be no half buy between the full buys. 7 rounds in a row for Astralis on this CT side. Are we heading towards an 11-4? I start to wonder.
I believe this third AWP was actually a mistake as well, but they're just going with it. I mean, Dupree obviously a very capable AWPer. And you know what? It could work to their favor. We'll see how it plays out. Crad actually, oh, he's actually going quite far forward in mid. Zipex with the M4, caught jumping up. That's some damage from Crad. Not bad. Of course, would have loved the frag, but See what Device can find. Sees a jump to Xbox, and really it's just about delaying and controlling the flow of the T's. They know that they want catwalk, they always do. Bomb spotted, but that's not too much information again. They can still go back towards B, dropping into middle. Magisk has moved out of the B bomb site to cover that as Dupree looks with the AWP into the tunnels from the plateau on B.
On the sound cues heard. Oh dear, that was a beautiful from Magisk, but this time he won't get any frags. Can the damage be capitalized on? Previously, Device got a kill through the smoke before they started to cross, and maybe that's deterred them, and maybe that's why they're going towards the tunnel instead. There's already a Molotov there, and the smoke is perfectly timed, but it's Dupree with the AWP. He's got to try to avoid the flashbacks. Maybe the AWP was a mistake after all. Man advantage now for DreamEaters. And there's no grenades for the retake and 2 AWP, so this has become extremely awkward for Astralis. Who knows, if he had an M4 there, it could have played close to the smoke with the timing, but such is life.
Yeah, and they've made awkward work before. They'll actually get rid of one of those AWPs and see if what they can do. Glaive ready to burst through that window. There's no flashbangs to work with, though. That's really annoying. No incendiaries. That makes life very difficult. There's 4 players set up on the side. Xipix will take down Kinky on the trade, but the numbers game is in favor of DreamEaters, so there's not really more that they can do. Xipix at least trying to make it costly. It's on 15 HP, gets shot in the face, and DreamEaters will escape. So 5 rounds of DreamEaters with a chance at a couple more. And that's not bad from them so far. If you consider the stolen round from Astralis, you know, this really could be a much tighter scoreline as well.
Astralis have been playing the exploitation game on their CT side, and I'm very interested to see. I actually heard that in my speakers, in my headphones. I'm very interested to see what the second half will be like, because I feel like, at least in the minors, it was the big weakness for DreamEaters was the CT side. But again, it has vastly improved, but they are against Astralis, and they've been looking pretty damn comfortable, Astralis, on this CT side with the forward plays they've been making. The flanks going through B-halls, going out long doors and so on. Their predictions putting 4 towards long. 2 rounds remain. We'll see if DreamEaters can keep it close. Again, best of 1. So much opportunity for them and no real pressure. Got nothing to lose with the teams they're going up against. Xipix and Glaive towards long. Short is open, but you expect the T's to spend time and utility taking this. So we go, got the flashbangs again. This time they swing with 2 players. In that previous round, Device got an easy pick-off after that flashbang came in, so there's some adjustment there from the DreamEaters.
And Kinky trying to keep it honest in terms of the flanks, because that has been a problem from Astralis. Oh, Dupree, he finds the timing. He listens to those grenades getting primed, and he knows that that's his timing to peak, and he'll be absolutely correct. Picks up a kill, and now they've lost 2 before they can even make the push into the A side. This is an absolute disaster here for DreamEaters. They couldn't execute the push, and they've lost pretty much everybody.
Yeah, this is beautiful from Astralis. They are really exploiting DreamEaters with these plays. We'll come back to it with more time. Spiat and Spiat there will go down in unison. As the grenades were deployed in a mid position and there was a push through middle doors, Glaive pushed through long doors at the same time and took out the player who was throwing grenades towards long. So they both got caught off. When you're being taken out like that by the CT side, what on earth are you going to do? Well, there's only 1 round to worry about now for DreamEaters, and I think it is a worry the way the CTs are playing and pushing things at the same time. They're punishing very, very telegraphed DreamEaters plays, it seems. Sonic's been doing his homework.
Yeah, it's going to be a mid-push coming in from Astralis down into the tunnels as well. We haven't really seen that from them too much also. 2 players set up around this position. Glaive is going to spot 1. They're going to go for the trade. It's successful, and they'll fall back. It's both Dupree and Device trying to commit into this. Surely DreamEaters will not expect Dupree to now be here. Device can play the baiting game.
This is a setup they had previously before Glaive went down, but he got a bit hungry, it seems. And DreamEaters slowing things down. But honestly, even now, how do you make plays as DreamEaters? Everything, all your setups, they're just pushing through doors and just shooting you while you've got grenades in your hands. Across the map, what can you feel comfortable doing, even in a 5 versus 4 versus Astralis?
Well, right now, Astralis still don't know if it's going to be a B play or like what's happening, because DreamEaters could just be chilling in the upper tunnels right now, for all Astralis know. and using players towards the ace on the map to fake. So we'll have the information play from Dupree. He's going to look up the stairs. He's going to see nothing. The timing here is insane. The timing is so... Dupree just checked upper tunnels. He saw nothing, and now they see all the presence on A long. Astralis have no idea about this B push. What a beautiful fake timing from DreamEaters. They could not have played this more perfectly. Forrester gets the kill. This will only serve to sell this play even more. Forrester annihilates 2 players on A now, and Astralis are going to be very surprised to realize eventually the bomb is on B.
This is absolutely ridiculous. DreamEaters are playing well above their pay grade. That's one of the biggest baits I've seen on Dust 2. A full rotation from Astralis. They have absolutely outmaneuvered them. This is so impressive. Again, considering all the pressure from Astralis to have these a mid-round call like that, where have they got all this from? It's insane. DreamEaters, Dupree now, 1 versus 3, looking for an ace to bring this round back. Crad's pretty heavily damaged. There's no more grenades, and that bomb's pretty far ticked. It's been quite the bait from DreamEaters. That is a much-deserved 6th round from them. Fantastic stuff as we move to half-time.
Oh, what a T-side. Could have even more rounds from DreamEaters. They look ready and raring to go. We'll see if they can bring that form into the next half. Stay with us. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Are DreamEaters going to do it again? They did it to Vitality. They did it to NRG. Are they going to do Astralis dirty as well? Because they had a great first half. They showed us a lot of great executions, good team play, good strategy, and they were hitting their shots. And they've made it for, they made that first half really exciting and showing Astralis that they are dangerous. But they are trailing 3 rounds, and they're on the CT side. It's a very different beast playing CT does too.
Yeah, but boy, they just keep shocking DreamEaters. I just can't believe how much they've improved. I mean, yes, Astralis did really outplay them in a lot of those rounds, but just from what we saw from the minor, it's like 2 completely different teams sometimes. And now they've got it all to do on their CT side. Pop flash through the doors will reveal some information in terms of the Glocks being fired, but it is a pistol round, so nothing too crazy is happening. DreamEaters playing a reactive game here for the most part. Sviat's got one more flash in the hole and a defuse kit. And there's a flash for Astralis, so he'll be falling back. Just establishing some control, denying a little information, putting DreamEaters in slightly worse positions. 2 smokes, there's 2 decoys here for Astralis. I do wonder, are these decoys, are they going to use them for some kind of fake grenade setup or fake flashes later, or do they just buy them for fun?
That's a very good question. Astralis have that cat control. We talk about it. This looks absolutely like every default would look in the terms of the setup, the topography of Astralis players. Speedak taking one to the face. Never nice. Good win for Astralis early on. They've got Molotov a Molotov and 2 smokes, so all sorts you can do with that. Ooh, they're beginning the smoke towards the corner on A, towards B as well. They actually are going to fake. They're going for a fake here, and it's actually going to pull away players. Device here's the running Kinky. That's a great shot, and that is so needed as well. Oh my goodness, Speedak comes back in as well. Kinky, long range. My God, what is this? DreamEaters annihilating this push. Astralis' fake was working, the rotation was happening, but still DreamEaters respond, and it's Kinky all the way.
Such is the nature of a pistol round. So I saw what was happening with those Glocks. Magisk was waiting to put the lurk smoke in towards the B bomb site, which he deployed. The other smoke was thrown near the kind of the bricks which stick out near the truck in CT spawn towards B, and behind or into that smoke they threw one of the decoys to suggest that they're actually pushing the B bomb site. So that was the purpose of the decoys. So far so good with that, but getting pops in the head tends to be a problem in pistol rounds. It's a pop flash from Kinky. He's got some support. Always nice if you can get a CT into the pits, but that will come more into play in the buy rounds, I'm sure. Anti-eco territory for DreamEaters. Astralis have bought absolutely nothing, or they have nothing if I missed a grenade. 5 Glocks on road with not much else. Again, this is about fragging. This is about just making DreamEaters spend an extra $4,000 to $5,000 if they can get a frag on even one player. Sviat's gone the cheap route with a 5-7, so well, actually he's got no money in the hole, so I suppose he dropped for one of his teammates. Minute 10 on the clock. Astralis have managed to take short with no utility, and now it really is that gauntlet run. Take a bullet for the president, get the bomb towards the site, try and get a short plant if you can. Speedak actually has basically no support. Kinky's long, but he's got no flashbang, so if Astralis' timing is right, they might get a bomb plant out of this, but maybe they're going to get devastated by the HE. Could have been a lot worse. Can they plant the bomb?
It's not looking likely. There's an incendiary available as well for Sviat, or Speedak, I should say. And
what does that word mean, Dan? I don't know what it means.
That's beautiful. Really well handled there. Obviously no utilities to support Astralis' push, and the fact that Astralis buy nothing, absolutely zero there, not even a flashbang, I think shows a respect that they believe that DreamEaters will not make a mistake. And also that they want everything in their buy rounds to contest DreamEaters. Speedak on the AWP straight away. All those frags to the MP9 certainly helps the money situation. We get a cap boost coming in from DreamEaters. Kinky with a very fast timing, as will Speedak. Here's the jump, here's the boost. Here is, do they check for it? No, they don't. Missed opportunity there for Speedak. Oftentimes in the default, a lot of T-sides will actually go for the boost behind the boxes, which clears that position, that boost, but Astralis didn't go for it, perhaps not expecting it to be there so quickly. And I wonder if that jump was heard there by the Astralis players. It might have been. See how deep they go.
Again, if you're not hiding the fact as a T team that you're going through mid doors, you can spray these positions, the elevated position, the position standing behind the box. There are lineups to shoot somebody in the head. No one ever does it though. Astralis trying to hold on to the lead at the moment. DreamEaters threatening to tie things up. Again, best of one, you just never know. And DreamEaters continue to surprise. They are ready for an A play, it seems. If there's a Molotov, though, for the bomb site, then Sviat may be in a weird spot. Currently sitting on the plant for long. 40 seconds remain. You can see the bombs making its way towards the B bomb site. Again, we've got Krad in that position, boosted up. But if there are 2 smokes in the mid area, then he might not be of so much use. And DreamEaters are going to be really out of position. Forrest has only got a UMP on the B bomb site. It could hardly be weaker for DreamEaters on B, trying to avoid the flashbang. He's going to get deleted immediately, and Glaive can just wait for the rotation. Doesn't look like they put any smokes in that mid position, so there'll be angles for DreamEaters, but that'll take them even more by surprise. There's less time to post up and start rotating because you don't see those grenades, and indeed, they're just going to say, okay, hands up, we're out of position, we're not going to throw all our toys in the bin, we're going to go and save on A long.
Yeah, and you like to see that. I mean, sometimes you just have to do this. It's, again, very similar to Inferno. The rotations are so incredibly punishing. I mean, that actually just goes to show as well, like, how important utility is in delaying your opponents, because if you do get enough delay, then you buy time for that rotation, and the round can be contested. But You can't do that. Got to give it up, and that's what DreamEaters will do. Astralis have to be cautious here as well. They have no money, so whilst they can maybe sack 1 or 2 players to try to get a cheap frag, you see Glaive trying to get a cheap frag, so he actually fire, I think, almost every bullet in his AK. Ooh, Kinky! Oh my goodness. You can tell Glaive knows his angles, but he doesn't have time to get that one. So, all right. Astralis picking that one up. DreamEaters going for that save. What is the response now from DreamEaters? It is hard to have a response on a Dust 2. It's difficult to take the initiative. It's not a map that offers too much in the way of decent options for CD aggression. And here comes a long take from Astralis, very solid stuff. And the challenge from DreamEaters. And that is Sviat's taking down Dupree. Gets traded immediately, and looks like Kinky will give up on this position with Speedak as well.
What do Astralis do now? Still showing presence towards the long positions, Zipex outside long doors, just keeping an eye on top mid in case anything happens there. And Speedak looks to be going to hold on to the short position. Standard for the CTs, you lose long, you take short, you lose short, you take long. You need to hold something, otherwise you have no hope of a retake. Crad spots one into spawn actually, almost getting blocked by his teammate. That would have been brutal. There's no one in B for the time being. I don't know if Glaive is posting up an angle on the platform. No, he's just keeping an eye on everything at the moment. They're going to get smoked off from the B bomb site. So what do you do now, Astralis? They were spotted in T-spawn. They still got 4 alive, and there's still a question mark for DreamEaters towards that long position, which will keep them towards A. You can see Astralis making their way over. Now, Speedak was really deep towards that short position, but now we've got 3 CTs wondering what's happening towards long. Will Astralis have the timing towards B?
Well, Forrest to have the right timing as well. There's a smoke grenade. That is nicely timed. Forced to peek there. That smoke's not going to do too much at this point. He was alone, of course. They can just run straight through this. They have no choice but to do so, and they'll find an empty bomb site. Very nice. And DreamEaters, they might be in a position where they have to save this again. They don't have any utility to break back into this, and there's simply too many players in Astralis alive, so they will have to give this one up. Fortunately, they have some forward positions around middle, so they're not going to be caught by any flanks or anything like that. Sometimes you can get, when you go for these saves, you can get caught by a late lurk. That will not be the case here. So they get to keep these guns alive, which is nice, but at the same time, they're losing rounds. So that's going to start to be a problem very soon.
At least Crad can get rid of the FAMAS. But indeed, Astralis moved to 11. The second round for them in this second half. Again, if we ignore the pistol, it's basically 2-0. Not the biggest score in the world, so we need some more evidence to see where momentum will take us. Now, do DreamEaters have an aggressive play in the bag? Will we see them go for a short boost with Speedak or something along those lines? Speedak can drop, or people can drop for the other 2 players, so they can buy around what they have, and they will. Astralis full of success at the moment. Dupree is still carrying a Mac-10. We'll see if he chooses to upgrade. He is a bit short though, so maybe they'll keep the money together. Tac pause from DreamEaters, their first of the game. On the scoreboard, most people are turning up at the moment. Magic is slightly ahead with his B action, 15 for 9 at the moment. Zipex and Sviat are at the other end at present. Sviat is 4 for 14. He's not having a great time, but we'll see if he can make the difference on the CT side.
You can see that Device, kind of the AWP matchup, and Device definitely having the impact as an AWPer, as you would expect. Speedak, I don't think we've seen him on the AWP quite as much as, like, you know, you'd expect on that T half, and I think that's why we're seeing the stats be so weighted like that. But of course, we're going to see a lot more AWPing from him on the CT side. Crab picking it up as well. He's a dab hand, and it's a fast push coming in from Astralis towards B. Forrester, how many does he get? 3 quick ones on the defense for DreamEaters. They've shut it down. Astralis tried to shock and all. They try to speed up that pace. They try to catch them off guard, but it is them who get caught. And DreamEaters, this is not over just yet. They need this round. They need to not lose any players. Their money is exhausted. They must survive with all 4.
Yeah, it's interesting if they just threw this in to mix things up. Or maybe it was because of the timeout. If they were expecting something funky, like a hold of long or something. they might have the right position, but it might have DreamEaters back into the game. Not over just yet though, is it? 2 versus 3 now, this is doable. Although Glaive goes for the reload, Magic's taking damage, taking even more than that. Glaive knows the CTs have got to be towards the A bomb site, but is he able to cross towards the B bomb site, sorry? Is he able to cross towards A? Show some presence towards the middle doors. 48 seconds, he'll hide his position, but what are his intentions? The longer he waits, the less CTs he'll have to engage. Rather than 3 towards B, it might be 1 towards A. But he will need to cross. 2 AWPs on deck for DreamEaters, however, it's Kinky on the A site with an AK-47. 25 seconds. Kinky, 44 HP. You can see him hiding there, so I assume his teammate's got the angle. A little jiggle maybe. Oh, he's going to walk straight into it. And that will be round number 9 for DreamEaters.
I was trying to think exactly what Astralis is trying to catch there. One of the things that has entered the meta, and we saw Astralis do it, is having 4 players on the A long position at the beginning of the round, we're leaving just 1 on B. But if you go for that kind of a round, what you're doing as the CT side is you're leaving middle completely open. And so I think that fast timing in middle is probably more appropriate as a response to that. So I don't think that's what they were trying to counter strat. I think it was just they just wanted to throw in a fast B. That does work out quite well sometimes. And we see a D4 set up here from DreamEaters. Another long take from Astralis. Well, they're not committing too heavily into it. Glaive stuck in the corner. There goes the Incendiary. He's in trouble. Smoke does come out to get him out of harm's way. And that's DreamEaters winning long. That's important. A lot of the utility was invested by both sides. But if you hold on to it, you're definitely happy. Device. Maybe it's all about the bait. Oh, it might just work out. Kinky, don't cross there. You definitely would regret that. And you don't need to do it. And so he won't get curious. And that means he gets to keep his life.
You don't want to be too curious as a CT. The more curious you are, the more opportunities you're giving your opponent to take you out of the game, to put your entire team at a disadvantage. So you've got to be really careful. Krad's position is quite interesting. He's in the middle of the entrance to B with an AWP. A very forward position where he could hop back if he's lucky with 1 shot. But maybe that allows DreamEaters to have more focus towards the A bomb site. Just under a minute on the clock. A timely incendiary from the CT side. Now, looking at the utilities, Sviat is really important. You can see him on the radar, number 9. He's got 2 flashes, so if Spidak needs assistance on the A bomb site, he can throw these flashes behind his teammate. So Astralis eat it, but Spidak can face at the same time and just keep shooting. That would really limit the push, but these smokes will be a problem. He's going to post one up himself. That will help with Molotovs and so on. Maybe as a gimmick as well. Kinky's on the flank instead, and Sviat's made his way onto the bomb site. The CT flashes have come and gone. It's all going to be about the fragging now. 20 seconds. That is a huge headshot from Debris, but Sviat still needs to be dealt with. And it's Sviat alone now on the A bomb site, looking for the spray. Has he got enough bullets? Down to the pistol. The bomb is still with Magisk. If he'd got that frag, who knows?
Yeah, that is some key kills coming out of Astralis. I don't know how Dupree got that headshot behind the box. He must have just swung out for the pre-fire there. Krad moving in with the P250, gets the headshot, but gets eliminated. And Astralis, they survived with 3, but that was very marginal. Zipex and Dupree coming out huge to save that one. And wow, what a situation. It's not really left DreamEaters with any money. And I wanted to talk very quickly about Krad's position in the upper tunnels. As you mentioned, you highlighted that he was halfway in the tunnel, looking into the upper tunnel with the AWP. And one of the reasons why that's strong is because you get an off angle, and if there's T's in that tunnel, they will be walking. You can be almost 100% sure that they'll be walking, so it's a very easy shot.
Big pushes from DreamEaters. It is an eco round for them. Kinky's got a HE, but he's not really in range to throw it. He's got a double think of his teammate. The flashbang's there, but they'll get a kill regardless. Can the T's protect the weapon? They can for the time being, but it will be collected by Krad. And there's a HE to create some space as well. Sviat pushing in the meantime. Both these players are low, both Dupree and Magisk. He could get 2 kills out of this, but he's got to pull his gun back out again. Oh, he might not check the angle. What does Magisk choose to do? Sviat's going race carring towards T-spawn. He is the last player though, so that's a lot of information. However, Zipix has gone in T-spawn. Quickly collected. Magisk with some good timing. That could have been a little more hairy, but here we are. Astralis now with a few rounds of comfort. 13-9 will feel a bit more comfortable for them. It was quite nervous to watch, bearing in mind they'll be a big favourite for this game. 2% DreamEaters to the 98% for Astralis in the pick'ems.
Yeah, it's not an ideal situation for DreamEaters on the buy. They'll be with an MP9. They don't have enough utility. It's a really awkward position because you don't really want to give Astralis that 14th round, and you can get the AWP out on Speedak, so they're opting to go for it. One kit on Sviat. So again, not ideal. My God, Device with 2 big tags through the doors. Extreme damage done. That is a huge problem. Astralis looking to get towards Catwalk quite quickly in this round. Now again, once you have Catwalk, you can threaten A, you can go for B. It's really difficult to know exactly what you're up to as far as CTs are concerned when you pressure like this. See that smoke and that molly will deny the AWP anything from that position. And they're trying to get DreamEaters to throw some grenades in. That's what those first sets of nades are about. Getting rid of the counter utility, but in they go. Speedak with the first one. He needs to get more, but he can't be too deep because he's so careful with this. Crack goes down. Very difficult shot there. Speedak cannot connect it. Oh, has he got Lenny lineups here? Looking for a peek.
Oh my God.
Jumping shots with the MP9. That's the gun to do it with. And all of a sudden it's the 2 versus 2. Not bad. DreamEaters have a chance.
Yeah, but Device has the angle in CT spawn. He was flanking with the AWP, taking out the players. That's an important smoke, and there will be some kind of gap for Device closing the angle, but he's running distraction while Magisk is getting the kills in the meantime. Ring around the rosy. Speedak might be in a safe situation now. He doesn't have a kit, so does he just walk away? Maybe there's one on the site. Looks like he wants to go for it. He's got the sound cues. Beautiful shot from him, but where is Magisk? He's by the goose position. Beautiful stuff. He could have been anywhere. 14-9. DreamEaters lose everything.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Speedak. He is extremely fast. And I think he was gambling, like betting it all on the last player being Gandalf there. You do have to do that in these clutch situations. You do have to just play off a feeling and be 100% focused on one possibility, narrow it down. You can't check everything. So here we go, 14-9. DreamEaters will be having to play against overtime, it seems, as they opt to go for the full save in this round, more or less. A couple pistols purchased and 1 flashbang, that's it. And they stack towards the A-bomb side. So Astralis with a spread across the map, not willing to risk anything too crazy.
Dupree's creeping in on B, just as Sviat makes his way through the doors with 1 flash. There's plenty of movement in that short position now. Sviat taken out, no flash for him. Oh, they can get an AWP here, but maybe not because Device. Okay, well, he's got a lot of help from Glaive, in fairness. That must look crazy from Device's POV while we were watching it, but I mean, for him, obviously, it's more important than for us. Match point and plenty of them for Astralis. Maybe the last buy for DreamEaters. Let's have a look. Outside of the pistol, DreamEaters have won 1 round in this half so far.
Yeah.
So, obviously, pistol and eco are put together. So, beyond that, from the buy rounds onwards, they've won 1 round. That's where you measure their success. So, they've got a lot to do to go to overtime.
Yeah, the T-sides are so difficult. It's a fast timing down suicide from Astralis. Sviat is in a great position here. He gets himself 2 very nice, looked like a quick scope from Device there as he goes for the trade. Device picks up another one, and now all of a sudden there's problems here for DreamEaters. They've lost B, they've lost middle. Speedak trying to make his way across. The flames obscuring Xipex's position. The scope definitely helping Xipex out there against Speedak. Kinky in from the flank, but just missing Xipex. He'll slip away at the last moment there. Kinky in the 1 versus 3 to save the day here for DreamEaters. He knows Xipex is lurking around this position. Xipex knows he's there. That is brutal there from Kinky, but still so much to be done.
He's picked up a Molotov, which may be crucial, trying to bait for information, but you can see Magisk goes by construction. Device will do the job, Magisk to pop out if necessary. Lovely 2 versus 1 at the end there. Astralis come out of this one strong, some nervous rounds. DreamEaters always taking people by surprise, but Astralis able to weather that storm.
Absolutely. Again, this is Dust 2 is a map that is, I mean, every map is very different from half to half. We saw a good T-side from DreamEaters. Honestly, I was very impressed with what they brought against the likes of Astralis. Astralis are, at their best, a top 2 team in the world, and One thing that Dust2 is very bad for, though, is playing those CT sides when you're playing against a team that has an incredibly well-constructed game plan. And again, I think Sean mentioned it on the desk. Astralis, it doesn't matter about their ups and their downs. They've been together as a core for a very long time now, and the kind of routine that they have and the feeling they have as a team for their T sides of Dust2 is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I think with the criticism that they've come under recently, Astralis, that is a great way to open up their major. Sonic's haircut looking really damn sharp as well, so props for that.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a fantastic game. Again, you just don't know what to do with DreamEaters long term, because obviously they're a huge underdog, especially at this part of the tournament, but they've just come so far since the minors. That fake they had towards the bomb site was so sick, and it's just the last thing you're expecting from them. So I do wonder what other surprises they're going to have for us in the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, I can't wait to see their games, because they're a team with so much skill, and I love who doesn't love the underdog stories? I'm just so happy that we get these underdog stories coming in, and what is there not to be a fan of with that team?
Maybe they'll be the Vegas Squadron of this tournament, just ruining lives left and right.
Yeah, absolutely. The Quantum Bella, the QBF.
You just keep on trying to say it. Anyway, Sue is with Astralis on the stage floor.